Welcome back to MLive's Dungeon of Doom podcast. I'm Ben Raven. He is Kory Woods.
What up, though?
It's a well-earned what up, though, tonight. It's
late one.
It is. It is.
Man.
You know, the Lions 44-31 win, man. Huge win that keeps those playoff hopes alive. This was a monumental game for those chances. I think I saw NFL Network said a win, 47%, a loss drops them to 12%. Is a win. So they're right back in it. I mean, obviously you need to keep winning as much as possible, but man, 44 points. Defense gets 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. And man, you send the Cowboys packing into dire territory too. I mean, you kind of eliminate an NFC team without it being a true elimination yet. Just a huge win after a weird, strange, long doom and gloom from the outside world type of week for the Lions.
Absolutely. You know, that Packers game, there was a lot of concerns coming out of it. And for them to respond in the fashion that they did, you know, even though the Cowboys offense was rolling at times, it just really never felt like the Lions were going to let this one go. For me, it was just wondering, okay, is the defense going to click? Are they going to be able to slow down Dak Prescott, who was willing and dealing for a little bit there? But as far as the offense, I mean, we've been talking about this offense needing to step it up in recent weeks, and they have done so. It seems like they're starting to kind of turn that corner.
Yeah.
The protection, I thought, outside of a couple of plays early on, it was, for the most part, Goff had a clean pocket to operate with, and you saw him, what he was able to do. And then just the performance overall by St. Brown, by Jahmyr Gibbs, it was one that they desperately needed. And just it looked like the Lions offense that we were accustomed to.
Yeah, it did. And it was very reliant on the passing attack tonight. I know there were 4 rushing touchdowns, but Jared Goff, 25 of 34, 309 and a touchdown. I mean, I think game was like 2 or 3 or 4 minutes into the second half, and the Lions had only run the ball 6 times at that point.
Yeah, that was shocking to me. Like, wait a minute, I'm like, they haven't really been running. This has been a golf game.
Yeah, it has, and so many guys stepped up and answered today. And like you said, I mean, Dak threw for 376 yards, 1 touchdown, but 2 big interceptions.
Big ones,
man.
That first one, by Derek Barnes, that obviously set up, you know, another score for them. And then just the last one from DJ Reed. I'm going to have a story up on him tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to get it done tonight because I'm off tomorrow. But I'm going to just say this for you guys. For the people that want to go ahead and get on DJ Reed for the game that he had, and let's be clear, he had a bad one. But you know who was the first one to admit that to say that he had a bad one? DJ Reed. He owned up to it. He took it on the chin. And after the game, he was just so raw and so honest, not deflecting, not pointing any blame. I don't want to say what he said verbatim because I don't want to get us in trouble, but he basically said he played like crap.
Yeah.
If I can use that word.
Yeah, you can. I've said worse. I keep Patrick busy with the bleeps and the messages at 4 a.m. Like, hey, I said something stupid here. Do me a favor, bud.
Give me a solid.
But yeah, Reed, obviously you end the game with the final get out of here with a win interception that leads to 2 kneel downs. You like to do that anytime, but yeah, Next Gen Stats had in 13 coverage matchups against CeeDee Lamb, Reed allowed 5 catches for 105, the most yards he's allowed to a receiver in a game in his entire career. And I think he had 2 pass interference penalties too.
Yep.
So don't freak out when you see a PFF grade of like 20.
Yeah. And I asked him about that last one. I said, like, you know, how'd you feel about getting carried off the field? He's like, honestly, I didn't have nothing left. I was looking for oxygen.
Yeah, I just... The Montgomery obviously had the big 35-yard touchdown run. Gibbs has the 3 touchdowns and huge game through the air, 7 catches, 77. J-Mo ties his career high that he set last week with 7 catches for 96 yards. But Amon-Ra St. Brown. I didn't think he was going to play. National reporters didn't think he was going to play. I get here about 5:30, 5 o'clock, and I see him doing his normal jog around the whole field. He's in the end zone doing one-legged jumps, testing it out. And then he's running routes, and it's like, holy crap, he's going to play.
He said that he figured around. He said he felt around Tuesday that it was feeling he was going to have ideally going to play. Yesterday, he was just like, I pretty much knew I was going to play. And this quote from Taylor Decker just pretty much just says what the locker room thinks about this guy and what he brings to the team. He said, this is what Taylor Decker said. I thought he was playing all along, so it wasn't really a surprise to me. So, I just know the guy. I've been with him enough. I'm like, oh, he'll play. He'll be fine. He's a guy who's going to play. He's a guy who's going to be out there unless he's on IR. There's no middle ground.
Yeah. And Goff said he was looking pregame, and it was just Goff telling coaches, telling trainers, telling teammates, I'm playing. You can't stop me. It's ultimate toughness. That's exactly what you want to see from your superstar players, your cornerstone guys. 6 catches, 92 yards, first play of the game, catch. Later in the first quarter, 27-yard catch and run, not just a catch and run, sets up the Gibbs 1-yard touchdown. Then he helps put the game away with a 37-yard catch, sets up Gibbs' third touchdown of the game, puts the Lions up, 14 in the fourth quarter or whatever it was. They kicked so many field goals, I lose track of what the score was at the time. Cowboys I'm talking about. But, man, I just want to make that point again. What you saw from St. Brown this week and tonight, was exactly what you want from your star players. 7 days ago, the dude played like 6 minutes, missed that entire game outside of the first half of the first quarter with a lateral ankle sprain. Didn't practice all week. There he was. Early and often. Dan Campbell said it. He is who we are. Yeah. We go where he takes us. He is the guy that players feed off of. And, a lot of pressure on this game tonight, man. And they needed that. After the Ragnow, the Arnold, the Joseph, the big loss on Thanksgiving, a lot of doom and gloom from the outside world that was not going on internally. The Lions remained who they were, coaches and players. Staffers, PR, everyone, it was just business as usual. And that really showed up today. And they're 8-5. Playoff chances are alive and well. Huge freaking game in 10 days. But most importantly, get a long weekend off.
Yeah, and I just want to go back on St. Brown for a quick second.
Please.
Right now, we have 4 games left.
Yep.
He's at 81 receptions, 976 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So if we're just going to do on some easy projections, next game he's going to have his 4th straight 1,000-yard season.
Jeez.
He's one touchdown away from a 3rd straight double-digit touchdown season. And again, I said 4 games left. He has 81 receptions. He's probably going to finish with this 4th straight season of over 100 receptions.
Yeah. Tonight he set an NFL record. Most catches by a player through their first 5 seasons with 511.
And we still got 4 games to go.
There's still 4 games to go.
And if you want to be that person, 16-game season. Well, you can still shave some of that off from last year too. The numbers still work.
So it was huge performance from St. Brown. I thought Jameson Williams was fantastic tonight. Absolutely fantastic. I thought Goff, that might have been the best game Goff's played all season.
Easy. To me, I think it was. Like I said, the protection broke down a little bit early on. But after that, and then also too, I got to go back and look at the play. I don't know whether he got hit or something, but I still think he could have hit Tesla on that one before the half. I want to go back and look at that one. Maybe I might have missed something.
Yeah, he talked about that after the game, and he said if he would have had a split second longer, that would have been a touchdown. But it got to the point where he was under pressure, and he threw a ball for Tesla and nobody else. So it ended up being a throwaway that he gave a chance on it. Yeah, he actually did talk about that after the game and just.
But aside from that, I mean, this is what Jared Goff can do when he has time in the pocket, time to let that play action develop the way he does. When the play action is able to develop for Goff, good night.
Yeah, he looked downfield more tonight. He looked over the middle. I mean, he did feeding J-Mo on them crossers.
Many downfield shots
Not this season. I know. I was like, dang, he's throwing it downfield tonight. So, there was a lot of pressure. There were a lot of quarterback hits. There was, instantly, too. And it was like, oh, this is what I was worried about. Then I got to give credit to the Lions. they kind of rotated Cologne and Frazier in for the rest of the game. I asked Dan Campbell about that after the game, and he's like, yeah, we didn't think we were going to play Frazier that much. We just wanted to get him a series, get him a taste of the NFL, and then he kind of kept earning his keep and getting shots. And, Awashika was out with a foot injury, and Cologne started for the second straight week, moving over to left guard. But then I gotta give credit to Frazier. I mean, it wasn't perfect. He had 2 false starts, but man, the protection was better in the second, third, and fourth. It just kept getting better as the game went on.
And you know what? It was good for him to go ahead and get that rust off. I mean, obviously you do not like the penalties, but I mean, hey, rookie mistakes.
The first NFL action.
Yeah, first NFL
did not
action.
Play in the preseason. Did not have training camp. Missed the first 2+ months of the season.
And you're in a game that basically has the playoff hopes in balance. I mean,
Dan Campbell is not just aggressive on fourth down. Dan Campbell is the most aggressive person on the face of the earth. Hey, must-win game against Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. Good luck, kid. It's the third quarter in a must-win game. Hey, let's get Malik Cunningham a quarterback rep. I love that crap, man. I love that crap.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that has the most aggressive coffee order in the world.
Yeah.
And it's what? Right now, we're talking it's 2:40. He's probably going to be in line at Starbucks at 7 a.m. Yeah. He's at the Starbucks near my house. I might go try to run into him.
He's going to be there the second they open. Him, Holly, and the dogs. Yep. Yeah. Oh, golly. Gibbs tied Barry Sanders 47 career touchdowns through their first 3 career seasons. Gibbs Montgomery broke Emmitt Smith and Daryl Johnston's record. 15 games with a touchdown in the same game. Record-breaking freaking night.
Yeah, I want to hear what Daryl Johnston has to say about that because he's been waiting for it.
Yeah,
he's been waiting. He said something a couple of weeks ago. But he's been waiting for them to break that record. So I'm curious to see what he says about that. But I mean, I did like the use of David Montgomery today. I felt that they used him a lot more in some of those situations to get those tough yards, and he was out there fighting for it.
Dude, that 35-yard touchdown run he had, those thighs were just pumping and pumping. And Gibbs, man, I know it wasn't the best day on the ground, but any day you score 3 touchdowns on the ground, and some of the moves he was making today. I mean, he's AI crossing people up. A couple plays later, he's putting their freaking face in the dirt with his hand. I just don't let national people tell you he's just a speed guy.
He did one move. I think it was on the second drive. He caught that one pass. I'm like, okay, that was a nice move. And then he followed it up with the next catch with an even more freakier move. And I'm like, how in the did you spin off of him and still do that?
He's unbelievable. I mean, to have Gibbs and J-Mo on the same offense is just terrifying. And then you just throw in a Swiss Army knife, just assassin like St. Brown. Even without Laporta, man, this offense has got the goods. They still got the goods. They can still beat anybody.
I think the stop will like the accelerate, decelerate from Gibbs and J-Mo, how quick they're able to go from gear to gear.
Yeah.
That is not fair.
No, it's not. It's not. The rushing attack, 22 rushes for 109 yards, 5 yards per carry average. Not bad. It seemed a lot worse than that, just because it just kind of seemed like they were running into a brick wall. Every play that wasn't a touchdown felt like they were running into a wall on the ground. But, hey, you'll take that any day. Goff was spreading the ball around. I mean, this is a team without their 2 top tight ends. This is a team starting their 3rd left guard of the season. Graham Glasgow working back after missing last week's game. And the offensive line just kept getting better as the game went on. I mean, the Cowboys, 3 straight wins, man. They were cooking.
The Cowboys don't just have 3 straight wins over anybody.
That's right.
Of those 3 straight wins, 2 of them were back-to-back ones against last season's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in. Everybody was talking about how great the Cowboys' defensive front is, and let's be real, they have been pretty dominant in recent weeks since the trade deadline. So
hell yeah, they have.
You got to give them the credit, but the Lions were able to just go ahead and hold up. And this is the one that I was worried about. Like you said, this is the one that I was worried about. I had the Lions losing this game.
Me too.
I'm not going to backtrack. It's just because of what we've seen from the offensive line over the past couple of weeks. But if they can continue to play. Whatever they did tonight, they need to bottle that up and try to take that from week to week as far as the O-line play.
Yeah.
If you're able to bottle that up or, play off of that moving forward, I like their chances of just first off, just making the postseason, making the playoffs. Everything else, when you get in, figure it out.
They can slap you across the face when you doubt them. And I'll say this about the offensive line. I would pencil Miles Frazier as your left guard. Just rep him with the first team. Get him. Use that extra break this weekend to go into next week with him as your starting left guard until Mahogany returns and see where it takes you. Because the reasons why I picked against the Lions tonight, as I said earlier this week on the mailbag, momentum week to week. Momentum exists in real time. I think it's something they feel. I do think, but like the Cowboys were up here. It's a visual medium. It's not a visual medium, but I'm putting my hand in the sky. Yeah, and the Lions were down here on the ground. I looked at that interior defensive line. I looked at the Lions' interior offensive line. I looked at Lamb and Pickens, and I looked at how Dak was playing, and I was like, dang, it's a tough matchup at all the weak points. And Dak got after him. Offensive line had some miscues. Offensive line cleaned it up. And the defense just kept finding ways to make plays. Like, really. I mean, there's, to me, no big player than the first play of the second half. Amik Robertson tips the ball in the air. Derek Barnes with his first interception since the divisional round clincher 2 years ago.
That one, to me, was just and that was also another Dan Campbell.
He was picture in picture.
Another Dan. He did that. He did that last year.
Oh my God.
With Houston.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I looked over. John Neal sits next to me in the press box of the Detroit News, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, what's Dan talking about? And he kind of like turns it up a little. I can hear it, and I'm like, holy crap! He just predicted the future. It was unbelievable. He returns it down to the 14-yard line. They score a couple plays later, go up 27-9, and they were able to kind of coast that to the. They didn't coast it, but they rode that to the finish line. We'll switch to the defense, and before we switch to the defense, Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey. The Cowboys literally have a chance at scoring every time they pass midfield with that guy. He had 5 field goals tonight. I think he had
that
3.
63-yarder, though, was just like that. It looked like it could have won 70.
He made from 57, 42, 55, 63, and 29. But like every kick over 50 yards, the 63-yarder included, looks like the most effortless. Like he does not change his power, how he swings his leg, his speed. That ball hangs in the air forever. And like the second it leaves his foot, the crowd groans. So they got it. Yeah, hats off to him.
As soon as he kicked that 63-yard, I'm like, oh, that's got power.
Yeah. So at the same token, 9 of the Cowboys' 30 points came on 50-plus yard field goals. You should take that every single freaking time it's offered to you. So that played into it. But just, man, the defense, I think Jack Campbell's unbelievable. The defensive line only had, 2.5 sacks over the last 4 games? Muhammad had 3 alone tonight. He's up to 9, leading the Lions in sacks.
That's crazy.
McNeil had another one. Jack Campbell had a sack near millimeters away from being a safety. It was one of those it's tough to get a good replay look when you're not tuned into the broadcast 24/7. The looks they were giving us in the stadium, I was like, how the hell did they overturn that? We finally got like the most side-to-side horizontal view of it. Dak, I don't know if he meant to do it, but he turns that ball horizontal, and it's like perfectly in front of the goal line. Because even in the moment, I'm tweeting like, how the hell did they overturn that? And then like 10 minutes later, they show us and I'm like, all right, you know what? They got it right. And it ended up working out for the Lions too. But Hutchinson had 10 pressures tonight, season high. I mean, I know he does. I know everybody's like, oh, he's the king of so close, but not enough. And I'm like, man, he was impacting the quarterback. He was. I mean, he absolutely was tonight.
The attention that Hutch commands allows guys like AQM to go feast.
Yes, because when you're shifting a running back to Hutchinson's side of the field, when you're using your tight end on that side of the field, it's what Shepard says every freaking week, win your one-on-ones. That's what Muhammad did tonight. That is kind of why the Lions like those pocket-crushing guys up beside Hutchinson, too, because it's like, shoot, let Hutch create a pressure, get in there, and you freaking drill that left or right tackle into the quarterback or into the pocket. And that's what happened tonight. I know when you give up 30 and you give up 376 passing yards, it's like, how can you talk about the defense positively? Well, I'm not talking about the cornerbacks. Robertson obviously had some big plays, helped create 2 takeaways that led to 2 touchdowns. He obviously got beat a couple of times. He is the king of biting too hard on those hitch routes that stop. He loves going for the pick. It happened in Cincinnati. Forgetting the other time it happened. It happened tonight on that Flournoy, that one Cowboy. Patrick, cut that out. I don't know how to say that guy's name. On the 140-plus yard touchdown. I just winged it. But I don't know, man. There's just something to be said. 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. You'll take that every single time. And credit to CeeDee Lamb, who had 121 yards before he exited in the third quarter. That was a blessing in disguise for the Lions' chances of winning tonight. He's sick. He's sick.
Man.
He's like, man.
You see him on TV, and it's like, okay, but when you see him in person, you get a much deeper appreciation for just how freaking good he is. That one pass that we both saw him catch, we're like,
how? Like, how? He got defensive. He was pass interfered on the play and still made the catch. It just, Jamo is getting a lot better at that route where he hitches, he stops, and then he turns on the burners. There still ain't nobody better at that route than Lamb. Because when he starts circling, it's like he's not as fast as Jamo. He doesn't look as fast as Jamo, but there's just something about the way he moves.
He's so fluid.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised that Dak threw for 300 yards. I don't think anybody's surprised that Lamb and Pickens had big days, but just, I don't know, man. The pressure was working. They only had 1 takeaway through the last 4 games. They had 3 tonight. That's what Dan Campbell talks about when he talks about complimentary football. Yeah. And the guy I want to highlight the most is just Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
He's just awesome. Like he joined Chris Spielman for like having 110 tackles and 5 sacks in a single season, the only 2 to ever do that at their position in franchise history. Just think about that for a second, like, because it's unbelievable. He forced a fumble too. This is just a very big win, guys. It just was. I know it was the Cowboys 6-1, whatever, but that was a hot team. That is a talented team. That is a team that has continued to improve every step of the way. The playoff hopes are alive. There's a lot of work to do. They need a little help, but if the Lions keep winning, if the Lions win out, they control their own destiny.
Yeah, something that they've been able to do a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Not in this position, but hey, I like the approach that they're taking right now. They're not thinking too far ahead. They're focusing on it 1 game at a time. DJ Reed had a very good framing of it. I believe coaching kind of set it up for him. And it's basically hey, right now it's like playoffs. It's like one game and it's a wrap. So That's how they're treating it. And I think that's the best way for them to go. Like treat this like it's the playoffs. You 1 game and everything is unraveled.
Yeah. And before we move forward with a looking ahead section to close us out, because it is 3 a.m. Shout out Tom Kennedy. Unbelievable spark he has provided on special teams. Had a 20-plus yard punt return for the 2nd week in a row. Averaged 40 yards per kickoff return on 3 attempts. Had him near midfield literally the 4 times he touched the ball. I mean, you lose an all-pro punt returner in Khalif Raymond, and who had been filling in on kickoff returns with Vaki's injuries next to Sailors. And Sailors even had 5 returns with a 30-yard average. Special teams were huge tonight. They helped them win the field position battle. Tom Kennedy, man.
I think
he's been here as long as I've been on the beat. Yeah. And the fact that he got a press conference after a big win in December speaks to what he means to that team, and just as a complete show of respect because he's playing awesome.
Yeah, and I think that with Tom, I know that when Khalif comes back, they're going to want their guy back in there, but you got to figure out some kind of role to keep Kennedy out there because he's just been moving that ball and getting them in great field position on those kickoffs. So I don't like saying that, he took this guy's job. I just think that you have to find a place for him.
If Raymond is able to come back, I think I saw a photo on Instagram the other day. He's still in a walking boot. Sounds like he's got a high ankle sprain, some national reporters are saying. So I don't know. If Raymond comes back and he's Khalif Raymond, I would fully expect him to take over on punt returning, but Tom Kennedy is your primary kickoff returner.
Yeah.
Like, what he's doing with this new kickoff rules, the way he's reading blocks. Like, MLive photographer Jake May just has a beautiful photo of, like, Kennedy drilling the hole on a kickoff return. He's a hot hand right now. That's crazy to talk about. A 7-year on and off the practice squad, main roster type of guy that they've just continued to stick around. A former college lacrosse player. Had a big game receiving last week. Just was a special team standout today. And just, they'll take it any way they can get it. Before we look ahead, injury updates. Thomas Harper exited in the first quarter due to concussion protocol. Did not return. Avonte Maddox replaced him. The 10-day break before heading to play the Rams next weekend definitely helps him, but concussion protocol, that's up in the air. Brian Branch got his ankle rolled up on by Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson in the end zone there late in the fourth quarter. Eventually got carted to the locker room. There were no specifics or anything after the game, but whenever you get carted to the locker room, it's not a good sign. And so for the safeties, that means Harper is iffy. Kirby Joseph is very up in the air. He's obviously trying to push to return for the Lions, but and I don't mean to be doom and gloomy, but his press conference earlier this week was like one of the more jarringly kind of depressing.
Yeah, you couldn't get a real read on him. It was just like I said, he didn't speak anything more than like 3 words per sentence.
Yeah,
it was pretty odd. To hear Kelvin Shepherd, beforehand say that the guy is great, in a good mood, yada yada yada. Then hours later, like a SpongeBob clip, it looked like a totally different story. So
he said, "My knee messed up." When asked if there was something that could fix it, So but hey, they said he remains himself behind the scenes. He's probably just tired of talking about his injury. That's why he kind of got off of social media, because here he is before the game throwing passes from the 50-yard line, trying to make a field goal for like 30 minutes. He's breaking down the huddle of the DBs before they run out on the field. I think it was Jordan Schultz that reported that he is pushing to play this season. He returned to practice once and then missed the other 2 practices. I don't have a definitive take on Joseph. I don't know. You obviously want him on the field because he does things that basically anyone else in the league can't do. But I don't know if I'd be testing that knee out against Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, and Puka. Even with everything on the line, even with the Branch's injury, even with Harper's iffy status, Stafford would cross some knees up.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either, but just knowing Kirby, knowing the competitor that he is, and knowing that his public disdain from Matthew Stafford,
right?
I could see him trying to will himself into finding a way into that game.
Yeah, that's like the hater Olympics. Yeah. Stafford, Joseph, Stafford. I just always think about that clip. All right, guys. Lions are still that 8 seed on the outside looking in the playoffs. NFL Network actually has their playoff chances up to 54% after tonight's win. They're still a game back of the San Francisco 49ers, who are on a bye this week, so there will not be any movement there. The big one to watch this weekend, though, is Packers-Bears. Oh, my God. They play 2 out of the next 3 weeks. The Bears are the 1 seed right now. The Packers are 8-3-1. The Lions are close to the Packers, but they got swept by them, so they got to finish better than the Packers if they're going to top them, which it's going to be kind of hard to do from here. And it doesn't get any easier, because the next time we'll see the Lions take the field, they're at the 9-3 Los Angeles Rams, who play the Cardinals this weekend. I would expect the Rams to be 10-3 going into that matchup, trying to lock up the number 1 seed or trying to secure that going into the home stretch. That's a tough one, because the Rams, in a year of no clear powerhouses, the Rams have kind of seemed like the best team this year. Other than the Patriots and what they've been doing, and the Broncos as well. But this is the Rams and how Stafford's been playing and what he's getting out of those receivers and what they can do on the ground and the young playmakers they've got on defense. That's a tough one. But you heard it here. I'm kind of done doubting the Lions.
Yeah, I would say
I was down on them this week, man. I was.
I was down on them.
I wasn't as down as much as other people were.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, they can still make the playoffs. This is not done yet. But I was just kind of like, this is like the worst timing possible for this matchup.
That's kind of where I land. I was like, you know what? I just did not like the idea of this, this Cowboys team and that defensive line coming in with everything on with a lot on the line. But they have Rams on the road, Steelers at home, Vikings on Christmas, and then the Bears, which depending on how these next 3 weeks play, that Bears game could be very interesting.
I mean, there's a chance that it's the final game of the regular season, depending on what happens with the Bears and depending on what happens with the Lions.
That could be that could have some real interesting playoff implications.
Oh, there ain't no doubt about it.
But I will say this: I think that if the Lions are able to handle business against the Rams next week, I think that would not only go a long way for their playoff odds, obviously, but their psyche, knowing that they can go in and take down a formidable team. Because, I mean, you lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
You gotta beat one of these NFC juggernauts before you get into the playoffs to really kind of I just think for your own self, just to be able to prove that, hey, we can get it done against one of these teams.
Yeah.
So next week, to me, I mean, that's a big game. And also, too, if they win next week, regardless of what happens, Dan Campbell has his 4th straight winning season in Detroit.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And I know nobody wants to hear that if they miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm going to call a shot. Lions are making the playoffs.
I'm there. Again, as bad as things look, I have to see them not be in the playoffs before I can believe they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop doubting the Bears, but I can still visibly see the Packers sweeping that series and the Lions taking care of business in Week 18, Oh, man. It's been a week. The Ragnow stuff. Ragnow was unretired 1 week ago right now.
We were expecting to hear our ears bleed.
Yes, yeah.
Ragnow taking the field.
And just, man, yeah, this has been a fascinating season. They've been alternating wins and losses since week 5. That's got to stop. They've beefed up their 15 straight wins following a loss to tie the NFL record with this back and forth nonsense over the last 2 months. You got to string some wins together. I don't care who it's against. I don't care what it is, especially these NFC matchups, especially with the Packers and Bears playing twice in 3 weeks. I believe. I wasn't counting the Lions out of the playoffs. I just knew that this was a freaking tough matchup, and I knew a loss would really put them in a really deep hole to crawl out of. But it's just a firm reminder that when you doubt this team, they can slap you across the face and remind you who they are.
I truly believe that if this team is able to just they got to be able to continue to figure out how to continue maximizing the players the way they have. Because like I said, in recent weeks, I've been loving more and more of the use of David Montgomery, more of the use of Jameson Williams, more of the use of Isaac Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla's been great.
Granted, you don't want to be able to miss guys like Sam Laporta, but other guys are stepping up, and Khalif Raymond, but other guys are stepping up when their name is called, and this is the perfect time because, it's not much real tape on Tesla.
Right.
There is tape on David Montgomery, but he's been underutilized this season.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams, the way they're using him right now was the way that a lot of people have been longing for. So This is the time.
Yep. I'd say my main concerns are in the secondary, obviously, and not just because of what happened tonight, but because of the injuries and the rotating pieces. And, there's a chance you're without your 3 top safeties.
And also, too, in the past – because Dak had 2 touchdowns tonight, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
1 touchdown, 2 picks.
1 touchdown, 2 picks. Okay, so in the past 3 weeks, you've given up close to 1,000 passing yards and 8 touchdowns. It's right shy out of 1,000 because I think last time I checked it was like 929.
Yeah, because Jameis threw for plus 300. Love had 4 touchdowns and no picks last week. So, I mean, and he threw for 234. So, I mean, the secondary has been giving up chunk plays early, often, and ugly. And that's the main concern, especially with the Rams matchup, because what they've been doing in the passing attack this season is scary.
Yeah.
But, I think this was I'm not going to sit here and crown them NFC North champs or Super Bowl champs again, but I do just think that this was a reminder that this team has the offensive firepower to frickin' hang with anyone. And that's a good thing to have. The pass rush can keep going. If the linebackers continue playing the way they have all season, they can fill in some of those gaps like they did tonight with the takeaways, with the sacks, with the big plays, with the opportunities. 5 field goals, man. Take away 5 field goals, Cowboys only got 15 points. You take those field goals against other teams. Brandon Aubrey's just a freak.
I told you what DJ Reed said about his game. I want to tell you something that DJ Reader said a couple of days ago. Now, for fans, DJ Reader was on that Cincinnati Bengals team that went to the Super Bowl as a wild card at 10-7.
Yeah.
He said now is the time where you want to catch fire. He knows how this has to go. He knows how this has to turn, and he believes that they have what it takes in his locker room to go ahead and make it happen. And I'm right there with them.
They have the star power, the offensive fireworks. It's just, they do. They've got it. I mean, they've got it.
You just gotta, like you said, just gotta figure out that secondary. I mean, you're going up against some good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
they're gonna do some things to you, but you just don't want them to have those north of 250 days.
Yeah, too many of those lately, no doubt about it. Let's get out of here. Yeah. It's 3:06 in the morning.
And I'm not getting home till 4.
Yep. Yeah, you got to drive. Just a little, tomorrow night, Friday, December 5th, I will be bartending for the Tom Kowalski Foundation, our legendary MLive former beat writer, the Killer Cares event. That's at the Lodge Grill in Kego Harbor. Step on out. I'll be there. I'll be there most of the night. I'm bartending from 10 to 11. Happy to do that. Guy I grew up reading, legend of the Lions beat. Come on out. That's at the Lodge in Kego Harbor. We're your Dungeon of Doom podcast. We're heading into a little mini bye weekend. There's no Lions availability, no Dan Campbell until Monday. The Lions need the break. We need a little, because I'll say the Thursday with the Thanksgiving, that's time traveling. Been an interesting schedule. It's going to be a sleepless night, but hey, I'm kind of fired up right now after that game. I'm alive and well.
I'm up. I'm good to go. It's just that as soon as I hit that bed, it's over. So I'm getting all my work done before I hit the bed because I already know once I hit the bed, I'm no good to the world.
And if you're listening to this now, we'll be back next week with our mailbag podcast on Thursday.
Yes.
1 week from today. Oh, that's nice. I had to remind myself it's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Send your voice memo questions. Send your written questions. dungeonofdoom at MLive.com. Thank you guys for listening. Lions are 8-5. Off to face the Los Angeles Rams next week. There's still a lot of opportunities in front of this team.